Shohei Ohtani has once again captured the baseball world's attention with a performance that defies logic and redefines what's possible on a diamond. In Game 4 of the NLCS, the Japanese superstar delivered a historic night, leading the Dodgers with a triple that electrified the crowd and reminded everyone why he's considered one of the most extraordinary athletes of this generation. It wasn't just any triple, it marked the first time in 48 years that a player had achieved such a feat under postseason pressure, and Ohtani did it with the kind of effortless grace that only he can bring. The air inside Dodger Stadium was electric even before the first pitch. Fans, aware of Ohtani's growing legend, arrived early, wearing his jerseys, waving Japanese flags, and chanting his name. The anticipation wasn't just for another solid game, it was for something historic. And once again, Ohtani delivered on that unspoken promise. His ability to rise in big moments has become almost mythic, and Game 4 was another chapter in what feels like a living baseball fairy tale. From the first inning, Ohtani seemed locked in. His eyes were sharp, his timing immaculate, and every swing carried a sense of danger for the opposing pitcher. When he connected for that stunning triple, the sound of the bat told the entire story. It wasn't just power, it was precision, timing, and intuition blended into a single, perfect motion. The ball screamed off his bat and rolled deep into the right center gap, leaving defenders scrambling. As Ohtani sprinted around the bases, the stadium erupted into a thunderous roar. By the time he slid safely into third, his teammates were on their feet, fists pumping, knowing they were witnessing something rare. The Dodgers' dugout was electric, and even the opposing players couldn't help but acknowledge the brilliance of that moment. It wasn't just another highlight, it was history in motion. But Ohtani's night wasn't limited to offense. As the game progressed, he prepared for his two-way role, stepping onto the mound with the calm focus of a samurai ready for battle. The fans, already buzzing from his hitting performance, now waited to see the pitching version of Ohtani, the version that terrifies hitters and inspires awe in everyone else. The moment he threw his first pitch, you could sense his command. Every pitch had purpose, every movement was deliberate. His fastball had that familiar late life, darting past bats with effortless velocity, while his splitter dropped like a stone at the last instant. The opposing lineup looked helpless, as if they were facing two different versions of Ohtani, one as a hitter and one as a pitcher. His performance on the mound carried a quiet dominance. He didn't just overpower batters, he outthought them. Each pitch sequence felt like a chess match, and Ohtani was always 3 moves ahead. When he struck out the side in the fourth inning, Dodger Stadium erupted once again, fans chanting his name rhythmically, as if urging him to keep pushing history forward. The narrative surrounding Ohtani has always been about balance, balancing his duties as both pitcher and hitter, balancing the expectations of fans from 2 continents, and balancing the physical demands of doing something no one else dares attempt. Yet, in moments like this, he makes it all look so natural. It's been 48 years since any player managed to combine such dominance on both sides of the ball in the postseason. The last to do so belonged to a bygone era, and yet here was Ohtani, rewriting the script in the most modern of settings, under the brightest of lights. Every time he takes the field, it feels like we're watching history unfold in real time. His every move carries weight. His every swing and pitch feel like an event. That's what separates Ohtani from even the greatest of his peers, his ability to turn the ordinary into the extraordinary. As the game wore on, Ohtani's teammates seemed to feed off his energy. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, and Will Smith all stepped up with clutch plays, as if Ohtani's presence alone elevated their confidence. The Dodgers dug deep, playing with a sense of unity that's hard to manufacture. You could sense it in their body language. They believed that as long as Ohtani was out there, they could win. And that's exactly what leadership looks like in baseball's purest form, not just words or emotion, but performance. Ohtani leads by example, by effort, by the sheer intensity of his craft. His quiet confidence speaks louder than any pep talk. When he returned to the dugout after finishing another dominant inning on the mound, cameras captured a rare smile from him. It wasn't arrogance, it was satisfaction. The kind of satisfaction that comes from knowing you've given everything to the game you love. Reporters later described the atmosphere in the Dodgers clubhouse as electric but grounded. Everyone knew what they had just witnessed, a generational performance that transcended statistics. Ohtani's teammates described him as locked in, laser-focused, and unshakable. In the post-game press conference, Ohtani was humble as always. He deflected praise, crediting his teammates and the fans. But even in his humility, there was an undeniable aura. The kind of quiet greatness that defines legends. Fans around the world stayed up late, flooding social media with reactions. In Japan, his performance dominated headlines by morning. News anchors spoke with pride, calling him the samurai of baseball, while fans on the streets of Tokyo watched the highlights on giant screens, cheering as if it were a national holiday. In Los Angeles, the story was no different. Local sports radio spent hours dissecting every detail of his performance. Analysts debated whether Ohtani could truly carry the Dodgers to their second consecutive World Series appearance, and the consensus was clear: if anyone could, it was him. The idea of Ohtani leading his team to back-to-back World Series appearances isn't just a dream, it's a very real possibility. His consistency, his poise under pressure, and his sheer ability to change a game single-handedly make him the ultimate postseason weapon. What makes this run even more special is the emotional connection fans have developed with him. Ohtani isn't just a player, they see him as a symbol of hope, of dedication, of pursuing perfection against all odds. Every time he steps onto the mound or digs into the batter's box, there's an unspoken tension, a collective breath held by millions of fans worldwide. Because with Ohtani, you never know what's coming next, but you know it will be unforgettable. Throughout his MLB journey, he's broken barriers and silenced skeptics. They said two-way play was impossible. They said no one could sustain that level of excellence in both roles. And yet, year after year, Ohtani proves them wrong, with humility and relentless work ethic. In Game 4, it wasn't just his stats that stood out, it was the emotion behind every moment. You could see it in his eyes, in the way he commanded his teammates, and in the way he responded to pressure. When he stepped to the plate in the 8th inning with runners on base, the entire stadium went silent. The opposing pitcher stared him down, but Ohtani remained unflinching. He fouled off 2 tough pitches, adjusted his stance, and then ripped a double down the line, another crucial RBI that extended the Dodgers' lead. Moments like that define legacies. It's not just about home runs or strikeouts, it's about timing, clutch performance, and the will to win. And Ohtani has all of that in abundance. As the final outs were recorded, the crowd rose to its feet, chanting, MVP, in unison. It wasn't a plea, it was a declaration. Ohtani tipped his cap, his expression calm but proud. He knew what he'd accomplished. He knew what it meant. Now, with the Dodgers just one win away from returning to the World Series, all eyes are on him again. Can Shohei Ohtani finish what he started? Can he lead his team to baseball's biggest stage for a second straight year? If history is any indicator, the answer might already be written. Because every time the stakes rise, Ohtani rises higher. He's not just chasing greatness, he's defining it. The postseason spotlight has seen many stars come and go, but Ohtani shines differently. His talent, his humility, and his drive combine into something rare, something timeless. No matter how this season ends, one truth remains: Shohei Ohtani has changed baseball forever. And if the Dodgers do reach the World Series again, it will be because their two-way superstar carried them there, not just with skill, but with heart. He is, without question, the heartbeat of this team, the bridge between eras, and the living embodiment of what's possible when talent meets discipline. And as Game 5 looms, the world waits once more, for the next magical chapter in the story of Shohei Ohtani.